Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Thank you very much for being here today. It is the Lock Shop, as always, brought to you by Play Alberta. Maverick says, I hope Dusty gives us the new Play Alberta codes today, since June 1st is a Sunday. That's all right. Just make sure you follow me on Twitter, and I will get those codes out there on Sunday morning. So let's get those ready. Duck Dad says the grandest parlay would have hit had it been posted. Justice for the Den. Yeah, you know what? I saw a message back saying that they couldn't find a line, couldn't get a line on the Skinner point. So that's why it wasn't posted. And I didn't know it wasn't posted until later in the day, or I would have moved on a little bit quicker, guys. So I'm going to take the blame. I'm going to take the blame for that one. That one's on Dusty. So, let's run it back. Let's find something today. Let's hit something today. Mark A says, thank you for winning by 3 goals, Oilers. My pockets are very happy. You've been betting the Oil minus 2.5. You're a sick puppy. Good for you. I mean, they would have hit 4 games in a row. I'm putting Tyrese Halliburton on the old Lock Shop shit list. My God, we had the Corey Perry point, easy peasy. We were talking about Corey Perry power play goal. If he's going to get a goal, maybe hopefully some of you got on power play point or power play goal for Corey Perry. We've got one bet up so far. It's all you need to know. Early bird bet of the day. We had to do it today. The Edmonton Oilers to win the series against the Florida Panthers. It's a pick 'em right now, minus 111 on both sides. You can text us at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And if you're watching the Lock Shop today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Obviously a big day here for EST as the Edmonton Oilers get a chance at redemption against the Florida Panthers, which should be absolutely outstanding. Cannot wait to see this series. Can't wait to continue to set this thing up as well. And we'll get to some of your text messages throughout the day. But the Lock Shop and all of Edmonton Sports Talk brought to you by our great partners over at Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app. With hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun. You are supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with the promo code YAG50, and on a minimum $5 deposit, you will get a $50 free bet. That is an EST exclusive code, YAG50. I can tell you right now, that code will be reloading on June 1st. So same thing, $5 minimum deposit, YAG50 will get you another free $50 bet come June 1st. All right, let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk, old WST, who got a good look at the Dallas Stars and then watched these Dallas Stars lose in 5. Jake Ottinger pulled last night after letting 2 goals in on 2 shots in a controversial pull, and the way DeBoer handled it and kind of threw his goalie under the bus after the series as well, despite his team not being able to get more than 4 shots on goal in 3 consecutive third periods. Huss, what did you think of the way it all went down last night?
What an absolute disaster for the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
The way that ended for them. What did they go? The last 16 and a half minutes without a shot?
It was crazy.
I don't know where Edmonton, when Edmonton turned into this team that just completely erases teams in the third period. But you nasties got to be feeling pretty damn good about yourselves, because there was never any question of whether this team could score. It was, can they play a playoff style hockey? Can they defend properly? Can they get saves? And admittedly, the playoffs did not start very well for the Oilers in any of those categories. Right now, they look like they are unstoppable. Listen, it's an amazing final. I love the fact that they're getting the rematch. And we talked about those. Repeat rematches of Stanley Cup Finals. Dude, get this. So the 2 times that it's happened in the last 40 years was 83, 84, Islanders, Oilers. That second, like the rematch after Edmonton lost, they won. Gretzky got his first cup. Fast forward to 26-17, Pittsburgh, Detroit.
That's 09, 08, 09.
Or sorry, 08, 09.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby loses. Pittsburgh comes back and wins. Sidney Crosby gets his first cup. See where I'm going with this?
Oh, man. Yeah. We're talking like legendary status here.
I mean, listen, two of the all-time greats, which Connor McDavid is absolutely in the conversation with. Last year, got to his first Stanley Cup Final, fell just short. Now comes back with the opportunity to follow in Wayne and Sid's footsteps as a guy winning his first Stanley Cup in a rematch in his second crack at hockey's holy grail. I mean,
you know what? It's funny you bring that up. I didn't even think about that comparison, but I was saying this morning, it's going to be such a great series, and it's going to be such a tight series, I think, between these two teams that I don't know if I'm simplifying it too much, but I think the reason I'm picking the Oilers to win is just because I don't think Connor McDavid would allow them to lose again. You know what I mean? Like, he's that level of guy where, they'll have to shoot themselves in the foot a ton, but Connor McDavid, I think, is just going to find another level.
Dig the
end. I know, because I can't see a world where that guy loses. Yeah, the rest of the team, we're digging in, Connor. We're trying. Florida's very good. We're digging in as hard as we can, and Florida is very good, right? To me, there's no shame in the Panthers losing to the Oilers, and there's no shame in the Oilers losing to the Panthers. Like, these are two absolute wagons right now. The Edmonton Oilers, if you look at, and we talked about this on our That's Good segment today for the Italian Center on the Nielsen Show. By the way, Nielsen Show, full gentleman sweep show again this morning. We ran it back. It was quite the scene.
Hey, why change anything now?
Yeah, exactly, right? It was quite the scene.
Although, speaking of changing things, shout out to McDavid for grabbing the damn trophy.
Yes.
And I loved his interview. Well, last year we didn't win, so just changing it up. I mean,
do we know what Paul Maurice thinks about that? Is Paul Maurice okay with McDavid touching the trophy? I don't know if he cleared it with Paul Maurice.
So we talked about it a bit yesterday on Lock Shop. I went extensively into it yesterday. Remus, of course, he goes, "Oh, I'm editing this and posting this on socials." So yeah, if you go to my Twitter, you can see an abbreviated version of the it was a borderline rant because it was just so dumb. But yes, I mean, I'm sure Paul will have many takes on all of this, but at the end of the day, it will be the guys on the ice that determine who wins it. Very interesting. I mean, rematch from, Knobloch. Yeah. Knobloch's in like some super elite category as well.
Him and Scotty Bowman. Him and Scotty Bowman, isn't it?
Oh, Scotty Bowman?
It's him and Scotty Bowman, the only two coaches to make it to Stanley Cup Final in their two first years. That's it. So pretty elite company on that front. Just diving further into DeBoer, Hutz, what did you think of the way he handled it all? And then, after the game kind of doubled down, and as somebody just pointed out, I mean, DeBoer ripped his goaltender, but the Stars scored 5 goals in the last 4 games of this series.
Oh, listen, there was so much to not like about what Dallas did in that series. Or just give credit where credit is due. The Oilers were the better team in literally every aspect of the game and deserved to win in 5, and probably could have been 4 if they didn't blow that lead in game number 1. I wonder about DeBoer's future in Dallas after this. He pulled, and it wasn't just that he pulled. I think you can make an argument that in that situation, okay, do it. But the way that he did it, called the timeout, grabbed everyone to the bench, yelled at them. Ottinger was almost back in his net. And then DeBoer's just, get back here. I don't know if you saw the pictures of Ottinger having to sit on the end of the bench.
Yeah.
Right beside Ray Ferraro, as Ferraro talks about how things are blowing up on the Stars the entire time. It was tough. But anyways, I can never remember a goaltending hook executed the way that it was last night. And then, I mean, his comments afterwards, he backed the bus over the guy a couple times.
I know.
Dude, they just signed him to a $66 million 8-year extension. So, I mean,
DeBoer goes before Ottinger goes, correct? I mean, you're not going to win that battle. They're not going to trade their franchise goalie because you can't, I don't see it.
No, it's created a wild offseason for the Dallas Stars for sure. And they apparently only have like $4.5 million of cap space. And Duchesne, Granlund, Jamie Benn, amongst others, off. So this, I'm sure they really feel like this was their opportunity. Well, the last couple of years has been their opportunity, and they just haven't been able to get past McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. So I don't know. We've got our pal Gavin Spittle from Dallas. He's going to come on today during WST. I want to dive into the aftermath for the Dallas Stars. We'll have all next week to talk about the Oilers and the Stanley Cup Final.
But that's when you look at that team, you mentioned they don't have a ton of cap space. They've been to 3 straight conference finals. So they're in totally like get us over the hump territory. Is having Rantanen in there now full time moving forward, you think enough of, hey, we're just going to be okay. Let's make use of the cap space. Like, they still got a lot of talented players. I mean, I know the Sagans and the Bens and the Duchesnes are on their back nines, but they've got some good young guys coming up as well. Now they've got this franchise guy that they continue to build around. And I think they'll want to be some sort of significant overreaction probably because of the fact that they've lost 3 conference finals in a row. But I don't know. I like the buildup. I think they need help on the blue line. Their blue line couldn't compete. Like Cody Cece's running top over 20 minutes a night. The blue line's not good enough. Nothing against Cody Cece. So, I mean, find a defenseman or two, run it back. I think you have a pretty good chance again.
I mean, to be fair, though, weren't we all saying the same thing about the Oiler blue line a month ago, 2 months ago? You know, like, oh, they're bringing in Klingberg. Is he going to be the guy? They got
lucky with Klingberg because he's been really good.
He's been amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Guys can't get it done until they do it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, losing Heiskanen and having him come back, I still think he's a little bit off. Harley's going to get better. And I think a couple of those big defensemen like Bichelle, I heard Biz said that the entire series changed when Bichelle turtled for Perry.
Game 1.
Yeah. He said that was
late in game 1.
Moment. Which is hilarious because they won that game. But now he obviously has a particular angle and a particular level of experience. But
yeah,
I did think about that, how it was completely all Oilers ever since that happened. And that guy's 6'6". So, listen, the aftermath for Dallas is going to be nuts. Here's something I'm going to talk about on our show today, but I've been thinking about this morning. I think when you look at every team that's out of the playoffs, and you get a misery level for their fans for the way that the team went out, I think the Jets might be in the best case scenario amongst anyone. Like, let's think of the West.
Oh, yeah, let's go through it. Lay them out for me.
The Kings basically have Edmonton on the ropes.
Yeah.
2-0, lead late in the third period. The infamous challenge. It completely goes sideways on them. They're out for the 4th straight year. Not good for them. Minnesota hung in with Vegas quite well, but it's another first-round loss for them over and over. What is it, like 8 straight times, 9 straight times, something? So nothing's changed for them. They didn't make it any further. And the way they lost, I mean, they basically were there ready to take that game 5. It flipped on them. They lose game 6 at home. It's over. The Avalanche, up 2 goals in the third period in game 7, end up getting burned by their old guy, Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, that one stings.
The St. Louis Blues against Winnipeg in game 7 give up 2 in the final 2 minutes, including 1.6 seconds, lose in double overtime. They're not going to get over that for a long time. Vegas in the West to Edmonton, I mean, came up small. They lost in 5 games, far below their expectations. And then you look at the Jets, losing game 1, couple big wins at home, really tight games on the road that didn't go their way. They lose in the most valiant fashion in Game 6, with Mark Scheifele playing, scoring in the game hours after his father passes away. The knock was they couldn't get through a round. They win it in the most spectacular fashion, and they went toe-to-toe with Dallas. And then the Dallas Stars lose in the fashion that they did, going back to the same time. Like, I would rather be a Jet fan. Like, obviously, the Oilers are going to the Cup. But you look at those other 7 fan bases, and I think the misery index is least for Winnipeg. And, you can then look at the other teams on the other side, the Leafs, the way they went out. Carolina.
But what about the President's Trophy fact? Like, you guys had the best record in the NHL. That's got to tie into the misery a bit, though, right?
Oh, well, listen, they didn't win. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's oh, great.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think how that factors in compared to some of the ways the teams lost in the playoffs, like as far as expectations go towards straight up heartbreak.
It's also the way you go out, though. I mean, the way that you're playing. And I mean, like the Jets left it all out there. It was really, really tight. You lose in overtime. It's kind of heartbreaking. Like, it wasn't a no-show like the Leafs. And frankly, like, can you imagine being a Dallas fan? Seeing what they did to Colorado, what they did in the Winnipeg series, and then just basically being left impotent by an Edmonton team that did not have the reputation of the biggest defensive force in the league. So I don't know. Anyways, I will just say this, that the offseason for the Dallas Stars got a hell of a lot more interesting last night. And bringing it back to Pete DeBoer. I mean, we will talk about this game last night for years. And maybe we're seeing why he's been so incredibly successful. He's taken 3 teams to the Cup final and then seems to be shown the door a year or two afterwards in almost every other case.
780-218-9999. That is where you can chime in on the show today. I want to get to this text. This text comes in from the Rookie. Texted in here during the Lock Shop. And thank you very much for listening. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for it. It says, boys, I touched on it during the hangout, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as a betting show. I threw $50 on Skinner to win the Conn Smythe at 40-1. What do you think about it? It's just going to be so damn tough to take it away from Connor McDavid. I mean, Connor McDavid's the guy. But we said prior to yesterday's game, and Skinner let in one really bad goal yesterday, but made a couple of huge saves along the way in that game as well. Like, if Skinner, it'll still be McDavid. I was just trying to think, like, what if Skinner, the 4 wins he gets in a Cup final, should they do it? It's like 1 goal, a shutout or 2. I mean, it would have to be that to even be in the conversation, but this has Connor McDavid, Conn Smythe written absolutely all over it.
Like, to be honest, the number for the Oilers to win the Cup should be the same as the number for
McDavid
to win the Conn Smythe. I can't imagine a scenario where, I mean, because you do have Draisaitl. I mean, if Draisaitl went and scored 8 goals in the final,
if he went crazy,
like that,
but
like unless Skinner throws 4 shutouts in the 4 wins, I don't know how it's not McDavid. I mean, he is the chosen one, and he's playing at an incredibly high level. Like, it's not like he wasn't maybe McDavid. He wasn't doing it all himself earlier on, which is a great thing for the Oilers and a big reason why I think people are a lot more optimistic about their chances to win this series. But I mean, wow, look at what he did. Like that goal last night, the 2 goals before. He's just absolutely brilliant. He's on a mission.
The 4th goal last night after they made it 3-2. And then he gets a step. He's gone. Beautiful move. Wide open net. I mean, that's an absolute backbreaker. It's a killer.
You guys are so spoiled by watching this guy over and over again. Like, that's right up there with some of the greatest playoff goals ever.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. He's a freak. You are right. We are spoiled. Like, it's like when the Oilers power play is really on. We're spoiled with that too. Like, sometimes I'll flip on another game, like just during the season, and I'll see the power plays that they're working. I'm like, oh my God. And I know there were better power plays than the Oilers power play in the league this year, but when it's going, it's like the Globetrotters, man. It's ridiculous.
You can get almost numb to the greatness that you guys are watching every night with 97. I think in the final, we're going to see this will be beyond Canada. This will be, frankly, I think the star power of McDavid, especially if he is able to get that win his Conn Smythe, get his championship, get the Stanley Cup ring, it'll in some ways, it's sort of the crowning moment of not only the team, but especially him as the greatest player on the planet. And the only knock anyone can put on Connor McDavid is that he hasn't won a championship. And with 4 more wins, he'll be able to say they will. And I can't tell you, we did a poll yesterday as we talked about it. Oh, we got bro hugs.
That was LT. He's out for the day. So yeah,
LT.
That was a good slap. That was a good slap. That was
I loved his DM earlier today. Made my day.
Oh, okay. I'll pass it along to him.
But yeah, listen, this is going to be, it's McDavid's time to make it happen. I think the betting on McDavid props for the final is going to be who's not, if you like to bet sports and you're into the Cup final and you're looking at odds pre-tourney or pre-series, who's not going up to the window and backing 97?
Yeah.
Unless you're a Panther fan.
Yeah, you have to think Connor's the guy, right? Everybody will be on all the Connor plays. Just with the series, essentially being a pick'em here, Huss. If I put a gun to your head and tell me which team would you say is the favorite in this series, who would you side with?
Well, the Panthers have been there 3 years in a row. They're the defending champions. They steamrolled their competition, and they look maybe better than they were last year. But the Oilers, think of this team right now with what they've done in these 3 rounds compared to what we saw last year. And they've got the experience of doing it. To be honest, in reality, I think I say Edmonton because of the guy we've just been talking about. And just the way they've looked, so composed and so focused on getting the job done and the way they've looked while doing it. But this really should be a pick'em.
Yeah, it's a
Oilers have home ice.
Oilers have home ice. Game 1 here on Wednesday.
Listen, I think the bookies and the odds makers know what they're doing, making this thing a pick'em because there's compelling arguments on both sides. But to me, gun to my head, I'd take the team with the best player that's playing at an incredibly high level. Oh, and by the way, has some pretty nice company. And his team all of a sudden knows how to shut teams down in the third period and play legit defense. I'm not betting against Edmonton.
Yeah. Obviously, this market will be heavily on Edmonton. I'm interested to see what the rest of the country looks like from a betting perspective. This Dallas Stars Finnish Mafia. Lots of talk about them coming into this series. Do you know which Finnish player in this series scored the most goals?
Esa Lindell.
Kasperi Kapanen of the Edmonton Oilers. Ends up scoring more goals than anybody in that much vaunted Dallas Stars Finnish Mafia, which is stunning.
Crazy. I was talking about Kapanen last night. How crazy is it that, listen, it wasn't a smooth ride here through the offseason. The bungling of the contracts and letting Holloway and Broberg go, for Jeff Skinner, who has never played, although got in last night and contributed, Arvidsson. Those moves look like really devastating for the organization earlier on. And then you have these like the pickups of Klingberg we talked about. Kapanen was a waiver pickup.
Yeah, from St. Louis, the very team that got Holloway and Broberg.
Yeah. and who's playing now. And I mean, he's been playing top 6 in the conference final.
Yeah.
It's so funny how moves that you think at the time they happen are just throwaway moves. Okay, this guy's going to be maybe a taxi squad, an extra body. And then all of a sudden, they're scoring big goals in big games, and you're playing for a Stanley Cup.
Troll text in. Yeah, keep the text messages coming in. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, fire us your text messages. Huss and I can certainly get to them. And if you're watching over on YouTube, smash the thumbs up for us and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Troll is asking, how would you and Huss, so he means me and Huss, so Huss, how would we rank the rosters? And he goes, Florida, slightly better forwards, Oilers, slightly better D, and Florida goaltending? Or how do you, how would you, it's an interesting, how would you break this down positionally, do you think?
Well, I mean, are we talking about right now at this minute? Or are we talking about, when you look at both teams? I mean, I think we obviously have to take into consideration that Zach Hyman's out.
It will not have Zach Hyman, yeah.
That's a significant one. But I mean, the way that, let's just take goaltending right now. The way Stuart Skinner's playing right now, going into the finals, coming out, I mean, are they at a huge disadvantage to Bob?
I mean, with the way Skinner's playing right now, I'd almost call the goaltending a wash.
Listen, if he comes off of the level that he's playing, and I guess that's why they play the games, we'll see. But I mean, listen, with what he's proven over the last couple series since he came back in, I'm not saying the Oilers that are a big disadvantage in goal. I really like what the Oiler defense core is doing. And with Ekholm back, I think that you might give them a bit of a nod, but let's face it. I mean, Seth Jones is looking as good as he ever has. Ekblad's there. Mikla's big and tough and strong. I mean, Kulikov, Nate Schmidt. I mean, those are serviceable depth guys, but it's not like the Oilers are, putting out a murderer's row 1-6 as well. So I think you can really argue either way on that.
So we can say that's a wash too. That's why this series is so intriguing.
I think the depth of the Florida forwards is better. I think the ceiling and the high-end players on Edmonton are better, if that makes sense. I think you'll probably see more scoring and more contributions offensively from the bottom 6 in Florida.
From that Lindell, Marchand, Luostarinen line?
Big time. But don't sleep on Nosek, too. Freaking Nosek, man. And this goes back to the 2018 conference final when he was in Vegas.
Man, you're dialing this thing back 6-7 years.
Dude, he's a player. He's a big time playoff guy, and he plays in a 4th line role. And all of a sudden in these big games, he's going out having huge shifts, and his line is contributing. And we saw it in the last round as well. So I do think that they have an advantage on lines 3 and 4. But when you compare what the Oilers are able to throw over the boards, with one line has 97 on it, one line has 29 on it, and guys like Nuge and Kane and Corey Perry are playing at the level they have right now, I think the Oilers get the nod there. And to be honest, when it comes down to it, if this game's on the line, you're not worrying about the 4th line. It's going to come down to the top players. And the team that has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, I think, has an advantage. So I think it's a slight nod to Edmonton in the old boxing, the tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape. A slight nod to the Edmonton Oilers. There you go, Troll. That's the breakdown. I think one of my favorite texts of our show this morning says, Dusty, we cannot forget about the dark arts that we will see from a Corey Perry, Brad Marchand series. And that is, that's kind of lost in this. And I thought, man, I don't know how I hadn't even thought of that yet. And we're just sort of starting to dive into this. But Brad Marchand on one side and Corey Perry on the other, if this thing gets heated, which it will, I don't want to know what those two guys are going to be up to behind this, away from the cameras.
I pray that they go up against each other.
Oh God!
Can you imagine a rat off between Brad Marchand and Corey Perry? One guy does something in the first game, the other guy wants to get them back, and those two just go at it all series. Oh, sign me up for that. Who is a better rat? I don't know. I think Marchand obviously is a little bit more
they're both really good. Yeah.
Offensive ceiling. They both have a ton of experience. They both won cups. Yeah. Give me the first face-off of game one. Perry against Marchand. And then both sticking each other in the nuts.
Yeah, just straight up dirty stuff all the time. That's too good. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in.
Father? Is that Knobloch's name? The Knob Father?
Well, some people refer to him as the Knob Father. Yeah, I see Ace 96.
I like it.
The Knob Father has class.
Great nickname.
Yeah, that is kind of a funny nickname. I like that one. I don't think he's. Maybe that's starting to stick a little bit around here.
Not that hopefully for the Oilers we don't need to go there, but is round one hero Pickard back in the mix for the?
He's been dressed for the last 2 games.
Okay,
so he's back around if need be.
Say what happened to him?
It was like a roll up kind of on that left leg when who fell on top of him there? Hurdle fell on top of him, and he played through the rest of the game. He said he played through the rest of the game basically on adrenaline, and then they realized that he's going to need some time off with his left leg lower body injury. So, this one's good. Yeah, Troll adds to it. Perry, Kane, Frederick versus Marchand, Turtle, and Sam Bennett is about as sane as you can get, and guys that could do some crazy stuff in this series. So it just shapes up nicely. Florida right now is running a second line with freaking Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe. That's an incredible second line, man. That's what I said. Like, if the Oilers lose to the Panthers, you just have to give the Panthers credit. And if the Panthers lose to the Oilers, I think Panther fans just got to sort of tip their hat and say, you got us this one. We'll see you again next year. It's crazy.
It's funny when the series ended last year in 7, we had like the 2 days or whatever before the draft.
Yeah.
I remember seeing, we did this on the show. All right, what are the 2025 Stanley Cup odds? And it was Florida and Edmonton. I think they were both like 6-1 or whatever. And I'm like, well, I get it. Florida won the championship. They'll be there. Hard to go against Edmonton. But we all know that that's not always the way that it works out. In fact, it never works out that way. And yet here we are a year later with the exact same 2 teams that were the favorites immediately after last year's cup. They were the favorites going into this season. And while they fell off at times, both of them, where you could probably get a better number, once we get to the playoffs, albeit a bit of a shaky start for the Oilers. Do you remember when the Oilers were down 2-0, what was their cup number?
Oh, geez, I can't remember what it was, buddy. If anybody got on that, let us know.
Yeah. Did anybody bet the Oilers after they were down 2-0 to the Kings?
We had a bunch of people who rode with me when they lost that game 1. Remember, we're like, this is the best number you're going to see. I got it boosted from plus 150 to plus 165. We had one guy text in this morning. He goes, Dusty, I have to tell you, I got on that over at Play Alberta day after game 1 when you were still very confident. And I have to thank you right now because I put more money on it than I was felt comfortable telling my wife. So thank you very much for it. And I said, of course, use your game sense. Don't get carried away. But there's some times where you get those numbers. And that would have been one of those times. If anybody got on the Edmonton Oilers when they were down 2-0 against the Kings.
Aiden O'Neill as high as 26-1.
Ooh, wow.
Penner's Pancake someone said this morning it was 16-1. I think the timing is everything.
Yeah, I think 16 was a number that sounds more familiar to me.
Have I been knighted by the Nasties, Sir Hustler?
That's probably still trickling down from Gentleman's Show today, Huss.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, definitely. A bunch of gentlemen on we were... It was a ridiculous show today, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Who are the guys in the parking lot with the bottle of vodka?
Those are just some listeners who came out. They beat me to work today. This is how bad it was. So I was gathering up, my extra, like these clothes that I was going to put on after our gentleman's sweep. Cause I got like the tux jacket on and the hat and stuff. And, then I had to do a hit with, the bear this morning. So I roll up and, our listeners, Grumpy Cat and VR Montenegro are already tailgating 5:30 in the parking lot out front.
VR.
Yeah, that was VR Montenegro, and then Fergie's Prostate popped by, and Big Uke popped by for a little bit, and they were dressed like gentlemen. The Grumpy Cat had on a full like Old West cowboy suit, and VR looked like a banker, and man, it's great.
It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I think I know where LTE went. He's going to hook up with those guys.
That might be where he's taking off to. Yeah, that's
her
true.
All day after the 6 a.m. start in the parking lot. Do we get a number? Do we get a number on how many beers those guys are going to take down during today, considering what time they started? Who knows? Well, maybe that was still just rolling from last night.
Yeah, it might have been. And I think they both had to head into work, so they were just getting a couple in the morning and then off to work. That's why they started tailgating at 5:30 this morning. So they can still be at work by 8:30 or 9. Andrew, the accountant, says, guys, I know early in the season when they were bad there, the line was about plus 925 for the Oilers to win some cups. So some people obviously got on there as well. This one is in. It says, please explain to me how right now, while the playoffs, Panthers have better depth. Stats aren't showing that at all. Just this last game, all four lines had a 5v5 goal. Pre-playoffs, you'd have an argument, but now with Kane and Frederick added, I think it has swung the other way. So he's saying the forward thing has probably swung the other way. I will say this, I would not put Frederick into that conversation. I think he's kind of been underwhelming. And when Connor Brown comes back, they're going to need Frederick for the physicality of a Florida series, but he's not moving very well. But I'd like to see a little bit more out of him. So.
To be honest, this series is probably a big reason why they went and got
Frederick. Yeah.
Like, they're like, hey, whatever. We don't need him in the regular season. We'll get him into the playoffs. But we do not want to get pushed around and out-panthered by the Panthers in that final. Like, if they beat you because they're a better team or whatever, fine. But, I mean, you do not want to get emasculated like they've done so many other teams. And it seems like they've done a pretty good job of stacking that lineup up. I'm not a Frederick fan, but he's a guy that knows that sort of, I mean, he's not a heavyweight by any stretch of the imagination, but he certainly has an edge to his game, and he's not going to back down in any of these scrums, like Carolina seemed to do for the first few games before they finally realized we better stick up for ourselves, or this is not only going to be done in 4, but we'll also we won't be able to live this down. Kane's going to be ready to go. Like, remember Kane last year? He couldn't even sit down on the bench. He had to stand the entire time. He is significantly healthier than he was last year, which I think will go a long way. I mean, if Tkachuk, I got a lot of time for Tkachuk and Kane coming together at some point in this series as well, which will be, man, it's just shaping up to be such a beauty, such an absolute beauty. Okay, let's quickly hit on a few other things here. How about Tyrese Halliburton last night? Are you kidding me, man? He threw us.
All time, like, so we were on Halliburton and a Corey Perry point. We get the Corey Perry point 2.5 minutes in.
Boom,
and then
done.
I'm like, okay, well, we're good then. I didn't even check on the basketball game because I was like, oh, he's going to get 21. And he took like 4 shots in the first half. Where's your killer instinct, man? You're killing me here. That was awful.
That was stunning. And again, I was golfing and then watching hockey, so I was the same thing. And I made a 3-gamer with the Perry point, the Halliburton over, and the Jays money line.
Oh, there you go.
The Jays, put up 8 in the second inning, so that was a runaway. And we're just waiting for something to happen with Indiana, and it didn't happen. Let me because the one thing that we at least the one good thing about the Knicks winning that game last night is that we at least have a game in the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tomorrow night, 7:00 in Indiana. The Pacers
Mike.
3.5 point favorites.
Duck Dad says he didn't even clear 20.5 points, rebounds, assists.
It was, and again, I didn't really watch it, so I can't really tell you what happened, but that was a shocking result for Halliburton. Now, you would think that he comes back with a monster game at home. So, I mean, you can go with that angle, but Bill Simmons brought this up late last night. I just saw this clip. These are the options for the NBA for the finals. Oklahoma City versus Indiana, or OKC versus the New York Knicks and everything that comes along with it. And he pointed out to the 2002 Game 7 between the LA Lakers and the Sacramento Kings. If you recall that game, one of the most controversial games in NBA history. And if you are one that likes to dive into conspiracy theories, basically the fix was in for the Lakers in that the league did not want a final of Sacramento and New Jersey and needed the Lakers in. And I think Sacramento was up by 15 in that game. And then the tide turned. Every call went to the Lakers. And it's still, I remember watching it at the time going, this seems fishy. And like, I was a Laker hater too. So I was just all off about, what had happened. But I mean, we're more than 20 years away. And we still think about just the weird things that have happened in NBA history, including the Dallas Mavericks winning the draft lottery a month ago. Put it this way. If this game is tight, I would not want to be needing a call on the Indiana side because there is a lot in it for the league to have the New York Knicks advance to Game 7 and potentially win the series. Like, I'm pulling for Indiana. I have bet Indiana, but I will be lying if I'm not somewhat nervous about this situation, knowing that the NBA benefits greatly if the Knicks are there and probably are not too happy if it's an OKC Indiana final. And considering NBA history, there's been sketchy enough instances in the past that the Spidey senses are already tingling for Game 6. I'm very interested to see how it's officiated and if this whole thing is on the up and up.
It's Nielsen Huss with you on the Lock Shop, brought to you by Play Alberta. You can text us anytime at 780-218-9999. We've got Tecmo action right now. It's the third of 3 games already in the office today, Huss. We've got Glue Guy taking on Matthew Owanek right now in a battle between the Saints and the team known as the Redskins at the time. And Glue Guy leads 10-3. I beat Hernan earlier today. And then YouTube Trev got a victory against Yukon Jack, who pops by from his job over at Bell. He comes over and plays a little bit. He's in the league as well. So big win for Trev today. I beat Hernan on a stunning finish. And now we've got Maddie and I got to talk to Play Alberta and get lines up for these bloody games, man. I think it would be great.
How far away is your new spot from the old shop?
Not far. It takes you probably like 5 minutes to get here.
Oh, okay. So you're
right. Yeah, it's like right down 107th. It's not far at all. So that's why we allowed him in the league. I'm like, look, if you're going to be part of the league, you're going to have to pop over and play your games. So that's what he's doing, and we've had a great start.
Did he bring any green mist?
No, but he does bring great stories from the old place. Still ridiculous over there.
Oh, hey, dude.
So there's that.
Just before, do you remember the 2002 game that we're talking about? Game
I was just
Lakers?
looking it up. I don't remember it, but I was looking up the box score, trying to kind of see I'm going to have to go on YouTube and watch like the summary of it or something. Yeah. That was Game 7, 2002, right? Game 7,
okay. Game 7, Sacramento Kings, LA Lakers.
I saw Rick Fox led the game in rebounding. So there's that. Shaq had a monster game. So I'll go check that out actually this afternoon. I want to slide over before I let you slide out here, Huss. A memorial leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler is in the top 5 right now, so he's within striking distance. How about Canadian Nick Taylor? Nick Taylor is sitting there in second right now. He's at 6 under
today.
Yeah,
through 10 holes.
He's 3 under today through 10.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 3 under today through 10. Shot a 69 yesterday, so he's 6 under. Ben Griffin is even through 3. He's your leader. He was 7 under yesterday. And then you got Akshay Bhatia at 5 under. Morikawa's at 5 under. I think Scotty just gave one back because I thought he was at 5, but he's at 4 under right now. One of my guys outright on Sam Burns, he's at 3 under. Shane Lowry's at 3 under, and then you got Russell Henley right there, T8 as well. So pretty nice leaderboard right now, buddy.
Yeah, have you seen what Corey Connors is up to today? Check.
I see he's over.
Corey starts off birdies 2, birdies 3, birdies 6, birdies 8, goes out in 32, 4 under.
Oh no, what happened on the back?
Doubles 10, bogeys 12, bogeys 14, birdies 15, and then finishes bogey. And he ends up 4 under on the front and 1 over for the round. So it started off well, but this is a really challenging course. You got to just move on after tough holes. And there's been plenty of them. Vic Hovland had a brutal end. He was 2 under and finished bogey triple yesterday to go from -2 to +2. So you're never in until you're in the clubhouse right now. But they're all out this afternoon. Vic's still at +2. Xander's +2. It looks like the cut is going to be +4. Ay. And there's Ludwig Oberg bogeying number 1. I don't know if that outright's coming in tonight. Coming in this time. But Morikawa hasn't teed off yet. He's 5 under, so he's in a really good spot. What happened to Ben Griffin?
He's at the top.
Oh, okay, good.
He's just through 3 today. So
I'm like, where the heck did Ben go? But nice to see Akshay there. He's 2 off the lead. And then we'll see what's up with Scotty Scheffler. But for anyone that's on the Pat Cantley top 10, Patrick just had back-to-back birdies. He had a terrible start. He's doing the reverse Connors actually right now.
Started horribly, dialing it in.
Bogey 2, bogey 5, double 8. So he was 4 over for his round after 8 holes. He's now come back with 3 birdies and pars. So he's just 1 over. Tied for 19th right now. As I say, I've got Cantlay top 10. He's 2 strokes out of the top 10 right now. So he'll be there for the weekend. I'll be paying close attention to that. And a few of our exotics. So what's your call on this game tomorrow for Pacers Knicks?
Pacers. I'll take the Pacers.
I want the Pacers.
Yeah, I think the Pacers. I don't see their big guys having the duds that they had last night again. I'd be stunned.
Crowd will be insane.
Yeah, the place will be nuts. The place will be absolutely nuts. What's coming up on WST today, Huss?
Well, Desiree Scott, our hometown hero, joining us before the big Canadian women's national team game. Check out this hoodie that Canada.
That does look nice, eh?
Beauty, eh?
I mean, you're a World Cup guy. You should have all this swag.
I am. You know what else they do, Justin? Check this out. Look at this bucket hat guy.
You are a good bucket hat guy, buddy. I'm not gonna lie.
This is when I go to Aikens Lake fishing. I'm gonna wear this.
That's nice. That's a great fishing hat.
Potentially bring that out on the golf course too. But
you can bring that out on the golf course.
Another note: sunk a 70-footer last night.
Come on.
Longest putt of my life.
For what? From birdie?
End of the green for par, unfortunately.
I had to ask. Sorry, Huss.
Yeah.
I had to ask.
At least it wasn't for double or something like that. But yeah, I just got on in 3, and I'm like, okay, this would be. I could 2-putt. This would be amazing. And ended up like 2 tiers, or like basically the luckiest shot I've ever had. But I'll take it, and I will do it. But anyway,
early in the season, those are big for average golf guy.
Oh,
you'll be talking about that putt next year at this time.
You know what? Every time I walk up to that hole, I'll always remember. I'll always remember the bomb. But yeah, Des Scott's coming up. We are going to do a bit of an autopsy on the Dallas Stars. Gavin Spittle's going to join us from Big D and just see how the loss is going over, what happened to Dallas, but more importantly, how do they move forward from this after what Pete DeBoer did last night? Brandon Rewicki's jumping on with us. We'll have Hacksaw. And of course, the marble race. ESTers, you're all invited around 1:45, 1:50. We'll open up registration. It'll happen just after 2:00 your time. So come on down and Dusty, have yourself a great weekend.
I will.
And the countdown gets on to Wednesday for the Cup Final.
Glorious time. There you go. That's us, Winnipeg Sports Talk. He's coming up right away over on the WST channel. And let's wrap. We've got the oil stream coming up. Obviously, lots to discuss there as well. I did mention it earlier. Dusty's play of the day is up as well. And you know what I did for the play of the day today? I just went with the Elks in preseason on the money line plus 105. I don't think BC's starting all of their big guns offensively. So let's go with the Elks, eh? Why not? There's not much else going on tonight. I don't necessarily like to be a guy who bets preseason football. We will be betting regular season CFL heavily here on the Log Shop, but just a little sprinkle on the Elks preseason action tonight. I don't hate that. So that's already up as well. DJ and Dan will be getting the grandest of parlays coming up as well. I'll throw that over to the crew. We'll see if we can come up with something from everything we discussed on the Log Shop today as well. But we'll get those up. RJ says, call me crazy, but Nuge Cup handoff at plus 300. I'm hammering it. It's got to be the Nuge, doesn't it? If they get there, we'll see. Florida's going to be a tough test. We'll start to tee that up on the oil stream coming up next, but lots of reaction, obviously, to last night's big victory, which led to the Gentleman's Sweep show this morning on the Nielsen Show. The oil stream coming up, presented by Boston Pizza, right here in Edmonton Sports Talk, title sponsor, Play Alberta. If you've not yet downloaded the Play Alberta app, be ready. Download the app. If you've been using the desktop version, that's fine as well. New codes starting June 1st. So be ready for those bad boys. We have a reload on our codes. Those will be rolling out June 1st. So I would probably wait until we get those codes and then start hammering the Oilers in this Stanley Cup Final. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. Oil Stream is coming up. Thank you very much for joining us on the Lock Shop. Best of luck if you're going to ride with us tonight and through the weekend. Talk to you on Monday.